Boom. Okay, we're live. Oh, hello, and welcome to a snowy edition of Totally Local Podcast. I am your host, Andrew Topat. With me, as always, or mostly always, is my buddy here, Leo Mack.
I'm back.
Hello, Leo.
Are you excited?
I am excited. I missed you. I genuinely missed you last week. You had allegedly more important things to do. Epic shouts to this Shure Super 55 microphone because it sounds awesome. Good choice, Ming. Hello, Ming. You're working the boards today. That's pretty cool.
I'm not even plugged in.
It's a snowy day, so there's not a lot going on. Leo, you almost bailed on me.
Well, it's snowing outside, so I figured
You didn't want your Prius to get wet in the snow?
I drive a really beautiful, expensive sports car. And, I didn't want to take the chance in the snow.
Yeah, I drive a Kia, so I said, why
I let
not?
you come pick me up.
Yeah, and it worked out. I mean, it's amazing how people get really scared around here. I grew up around here, and there's just different levels to it. I used to live in New Mexico, as I've mentioned a billion times, and people, when it snowed, even like a snowflake comes onto the ground, people like bug out. And people up in Burlington, Vermont, it's 4 feet all year pretty much. And no, just kidding. In the winter, it's really, really snowy, and they deal with it every day. So I guess it's whatever you're used to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about the people who are also driving around
Crazy
you,
people.
who freak out because of the snow.
They do.
And so I try to avoid that.
Yeah.
But
And luckily, I'm totally local, so I know all the back roads.
I was really impressed. I was lost 95% of the route.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Yeah. Allenhurst, Ocean, West Long Branch, 71, represent Monmouth Road. No? Another epic shouts to Nitro Beverage Company.
Oh, yeah.
It's delicious. I got the what is it? The toasted almond. It's just a hint of almond, toasted, obviously, and it really kind of, I like my coffee with a little like half and half in it, and I've been trying not to have dairy, but this adds enough flavor to where it's super delicious, and I don't got that dairy business.
Are you
going
off the sugars?
Yeah, because I had Valentine's Day last Thursday, as everyone else did. And me and my lovely wife, Lauren, were like, we're just going to, we're going to go off our regularly scheduled dietary programming, and we're going to go for it. So she loves nachos. I mean, everybody loves nachos. Yeah, so we went dirty with the nachos, and then we had a churro for dessert. And the sugar, after you clean out all that stuff, sugar messes me. It all messed me up. It messed me up in a lot of different ways. Not horrible, massacre of any kind of bathrooms or anything, but I just felt all just twitchy over the sugar, and it just didn't. I didn't feel good.
So did you do anything special? Any surprises? Any things, gifts? Cool things like that.
Well, I bought my wife flowers because, as you know, you have to buy flower. Women, love flowers. Significant others love kind of a gesture. And what we have is, and I don't want to be myself, but we have Christmas, my wife's birthday, Valentine's Day, and then tomorrow is the anniversary of our first date when we first met. And I gotta space everything out equally so I don't go too crazy. And so Valentine's Day, to me, obviously I love my wife and I love spending time with her, but to me Valentine's Day isn't as special as tomorrow. Even though I made plans, I have an after work appointment that I have to do
with her. Some bow chicka wow wow.
That's late night. No, I have somebody helping me with my side project, my album, which you've been privy to. I've talked about it on the Top 5 podcast a while ago, but I'm actually honestly getting it done. So he's coming by to produce it, mix it, whatever, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow night.
Are we going to get the first listen of your album here on the show? We can
really,
let it play in the background, and we can tell some stories.
It's really, maybe I'll think about that. I'll talk about it, and then I'll send people the link, and then they can listen to it if they want. How about that? How does that sound? Because maybe we could have the person I'm working with, on the podcast as well. Shout out to Joe Santo, who's it's actually Lauren's ex boyfriend. but I've met him before. Shout out to Steve Mitchell. I met him through disc golf, and it's just one of those things where you just meet these people that you know, and we got along because he's, my wife has good taste in guys, so what can I say? Anyway, I'd like to have him on here. He could talk more about it, and I got another shout out to my wife because she's the one that got me to actually finish it. I've been working on it for a while. I've thought about it for a while, and she really kind of motivated me as being probably my number one fan. She motivated me to actually get it done because I make this music and then I don't play it for anybody.
I think one of the most, one of the biggest things that I think about when I think about you is how when I first met you, you were playing and DJing around the Jersey Shore area. And I'm wondering now that you have new music coming out or music coming out at all, are you planning on getting back out in the streets and on the ones and twos?
Part of me wants to, so there's two different things I'm working on. I'm working on this hip hop album. And then I have all this music I made, and I kind of want to DJ. I want to play my music out. I want to DJ that music. But I honestly don't know. Like, I'd probably do it at like 9 p.m. and do like a 30-minute, 45-minute set. Because honestly, I don't know. I don't want to be too self-deprecating, but I don't know who, like, random people. Maybe my friends would be interested. But, like, other than that, I don't know who's going to really, give a crap. Is that like not? Is that a pretty negative way of looking at it?
No, I think we'll get you out there. We need to just keep talking about it.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
there'll be
something.
I appreciate you. You were very supportive when I played some stuff on that podcast, and we're surprised because I don't think anyone's ever heard any music I've ever made. I've put out I've made at least 3 different albums. I don't think you've ever heard any of my albums.
I think so. For anybody who doesn't know, we had a show that we did before the show.
The show before the show.
The show before the show, and it was called Top 5. Top 5.
It was top 5 records. You don't even remember the show.
It was a long time ago.
It was a while ago.
And so on one of the episodes at the end, you actually didn't you freestyle?
No, I played the instrumental and then I did my lyrics over the instrumental.
Yeah.
And you didn't really see that coming.
I did not see that coming.
So boom.
We got a link on our website to some of the top 5 records shows that we did. At some point in some way, we'll get that on there because those were fun. I mean, we had music. We talked about all kind of crazy things.
I did that with you. I had Mike Merrill on 1 or 2. Epic shouts to Mike who filled in. Luckily, it was supposed to be all 3 of us last week, but he filled in because you couldn't make it. So I have all of them. It's just a matter of I started the Totally Local SoundCloud account, and all that stuff is on my other SoundCloud, which has thousands and thousands of hours of stuff on it because I have all my DJ mixes on there. I have the podcast I did with you. I have my Getting Things Done podcast with my brother, season 2 of that because season 1 got lost. So I have a ton of content on there. I just need to pay for it, open it up, download all of it, and then figure out where to put it because I don't want to have 2 pro SoundCloud accounts. That's kind of ridiculous.
Well, thank you very much, Mike Merrill, for coming by last week.
He's just a natural.
I was in Arizona.
You were?
I was in the desert.
You were having like a spirit.
I was searching
experience?
For
your keys?
For the grand big cactus. The elusive huge cacti.
I bet you were.
in Arizona.
Did you find one?
I did not.
Oh, it's too bad.
All a bunch of little ones.
Little tiny ones.
No,
and he was
huge.
checking.
Yeah, so it was fun.
Was it hot as hell out there or what?
It was cold.
Really?
It was about the same as Jersey.
You were in Phoenix?
I was in Phoenix, and is it Tempe? Tempe. Yeah, so
it's Tempe.
I was there and went to some casinos, did some college bar partying. I rode a bull. Maybe I'll put that video out on the site.
Oh my God, that would be great.
While you were here doing the show, I was riding bulls in Arizona, so it was pretty cool. But definitely thank you to Mike. So I'm sure the show was great. He's got a ton of stuff he's always doing, and he's always a great person to talk to. And I wish next time we'll get him on when I'll be here, and we'll sit down and talk some crazy
He's just
stuff.
he's got a great head of hair, and he's really hip. You know,
Yeah,
he knows what's going on. He's busy, so he has a lot to say. He was in radio back in the day, and so he just knows how to roll with it.
Right.
And it just kind of the time flew by. It wasn't like forced or anything like that. And yeah, I just always appreciate. He says, when he's more free when it's not the summer. So we'll definitely get him back on when you're here.
Yeah, I would love that.
And I'll try to talk less, and then you two can talk.
Okay.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well,
we are doing episode 19, Total Local Podcast.
Yeah.
And
is
I've
19?
been to...
Is that what I said?
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Feels about 19.
Let's see.
I always think, So I know that you've been doing a lot of partying. You've been in the streets. You have been strolling in at 6 a.m. most nights.
I've been doing things. I don't want to say I've been partying per se. I've been partying more responsibly than I've ever partied in my life. Yeah. I mean, man, it's been so long. Have we talked about the lanes?
We did not talk about the lanes.
Jeez. We had matching bills.
We did have matching bills.
Which
that
is
was
super sketchy.
Very
suspect?
I would say that.
Uh-huh.
So we decided to take our show on the road. We went to the lanes together.
Saw Adam Worth DJing.
Great. Very interesting. He has the videos going with the songs going.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity to see him, he's all over the place. So definitely check him out. But it was our first time there. Great. We got some great shots, some great pictures that are up on the Instagram.
It smells new. It needs to be broken in.
Yeah.
A little bit because it smells too new to me. It's too fancy, but it's really nice in there. It's really nice. It's clean and it's nice and it's open. Whoever designed the layout is great.
A lot of interesting things to look at. The bathrooms are much better.
Yeah, the bathrooms work, which is huge.
You can wash your hands.
Yeah, the undercover cops, not too much. But if you're not doing anything bad, just don't invite anyone home.
They're pretty obviously undercover.
Now that I could see it, it's like when you buy a car and you never see anybody with it, and then you see it all over the place. It's like now that I've seen undercover cops, I'll be able to spot undercover cops. But as long as I'm not doing any kind of giant drug deals in the middle of Asbury Lanes or inviting anyone home for any lasciviousness, then I think I'll be fine.
Well, what did you think about the drinks?
I thought they were good. I mean, it was a good it was a professional pour. I don't think it wasn't anything. They weren't like too strong. I don't think so. I don't think they were. I did drink too. I had like 3, and I haven't been drinking, so I did have too many for myself at that time. But I thought it was pretty good. The sound in there is obviously great. And everyone was entertained. It used to be a little more, it used to be a little more like, sorry for the sniffle. It used to be a little more like gritty and adult-y in there. And there were like, when we showed up, there were kids hanging out, and I guess it's okay. It's just not a Chuck E. Cheese is all. It's like, why would people have these children at the bar at like 9:30 or 10?
I mean, it is still a bowling alley, I guess, with a diner attached to it.
Yeah,
so
all right. So it's
people
more
coming from the hotel, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then, I'm just being curmudgeonly.
Yeah, but I definitely would recommend it. It's a really good, cool place. Lots of music coming out. So we have Gang of Four. We have Zoso, which is a tribute to Led Zeppelin.
Oh, there we go.
We have Wet, Kilo Kish. Chris Difford is canceled, so if you were planning on going to that one, you aren't. And so some really cool music coming out there. So check out the website Asbury Lanes. You Google it. And go check out a show if you haven't been. It's a good place.
Yeah.
The food is interesting.
What do you mean? Is it expensive? Is it too rich?
It's just weird.
What do you mean it's weird?
It's like food that is not fancy at all. Like
is it priced fancy?
It's priced regular.
Okay.
Like if you want like a chili dog and some fries, that probably will be on the menu, or something with Spam in it. I would expect it to be there. And they try to take things like that and fancy it up. I felt like, but it's really cool because the waitresses were like mean, but in like a like I'm gonna be mean to you kind of way. Which I definitely enjoy.
Sassy.
Yeah. So definitely a good experience for anybody who wants to try to check out something new in the area.
And we talked about me and Mike talked about this last time. Is Whitechapel Project.
Whoa! What a place!
Did you you went the night before I went.
I did.
And you loved it.
I did.
You got a little tipsy. You told everybody about our podcast, invited a bunch of people on here, but haven't scheduled anything.
I don't. So for anybody who knows Chris Brown, the artist, local artist,
Yeah.
he is working there,
Mm-hmm.
doing bar among other things, and was a really great host to us while we were there.
Did you get his contact info?
I did.
You?
I
Okay,
did.
good.
He said he's totally wants to swing by and do the show before
Good.
he to plug some of his things that
Oh,
are
nice.
coming up. So
Good.
I'm confident that we'll get him here, and the place is great visually. If you go to our Instagram, Totally Local Podcast, it's actually
Totally _ podcast _ totally
No,
local
wait.
podcast
no,
underscores
totally-
in the,
yeah.
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 Just search in the thing. It should come up if you type in totally local podcast.
I did a nice little tribute to the Whitechapel Project.
Oh, good.
Which I like to call White Castle Project. But they did there's some really interesting visual things to look at, some visual space. So definitely check that out. And I would
It'll be
suggest
bumping
getting
in the
there
summer.
early. Oh yeah, you definitely want to get there early so you can experience it without the ton of people.
Yeah.
When I walked in, it was like nobody, and then by the time I was walking out, it was packed. And I was only there for an hour, so it fills up quickly. But great people, everybody's really friendly.
Awesome
the drinks
food.
are awesome.
Yeah.
What was your experience while you were there?
Me and my lovely wife went to go have dinner there, and then we went there right before we went to go see the Matt O'Ree Band at Monmouth University at the Pollock Theater, I believe is what it's called. So we were there a little early, and it was funny because as we were eating, Adam Worth came in to DJ there and set up. It's a great space to perform. It seems like it's a big open. There's an outdoor area that's like closed in that's open. It's not Asbury Park, so you could park for free for God knows how many years until they figure out how to gouge you on that. The food was really good. The food was great. We had
was really good.
mussels. We had a bunch of little things. We had the tostado with the I think salmon on it or something. It was dupe. And then we had drinks, which I had a sit down with Night Owl Hospitality recently.
Okay.
And they do events and tastings and parties and all this stuff, and they actually do consulting for drinks, for like mixology consulting or whatever you call it. And they actually worked with Whitechapel to come up with their drinks. I had the Goldfinch or the Golden Finch because I'm trying to step away from beer,
Okay.
even though beer is delicious.
So what's the Goldfinch? Is that
It was like
beer?
a vodka. No, it was a mixed drink. It was like a vodka with some kind of simple syrup, and it was good. It was a good, tasty drink, and it got me going for going to see Matt O'Ree Band at Monmouth University, which was a interesting setting. I've been there. That was my second time there. Epic shouts to Vaughn Peck, who runs the show over there, who's also a fabulous artist who I've known. She's the mom of one of my friends who I've known forever. Shouts to Danielle, who invited me, and it was an interesting setting to see Matt O'Ree, who I've seen for years and known for a while, and it was more of like a professional non-bar kind of atmosphere, so there wasn't a lot of hooting and hollering, and it was more kind of like subdued in a way of just being professional. But it was nice to hear them in a theater. You got to appreciate it for what it is. And it ended early, obviously, because it wasn't a bar or a nightclub or whatever. I think Matt O'Ree is an awesome guitarist. The drummer, whose name escapes me right now, is amazing. His sound is so good. I do miss the old lineup of Eric on keys and Scott on the bass. But the band is still good. You know, they have singers now. Matt's wife is one of the singers, and there was another woman there who had an amazing voice. They both had amazing voices, so it was really good to see them in a different kind of setting. I haven't seen them in a while.
So it's exciting because you're getting out. You're getting
Getting
out of the local area and
Yeah.
expanding a little bit.
Yeah.
So you saw a show in Long Branch.
Yes, I did.
You went to have dinner in Long Branch.
I did.
And you've been in Asbury Park doing some things too.
I did. Well, we were both kind of doing some things last weekend. I kind of, I went to see I went to go see Almost Queen.
Okay.
It was sold out at the Pony, and I don't want to go. No offense to, I love the Stone Pony, but in the winter when a show is sold out, I am like an old man. I don't want to be all packed in like sardines in that place. I like it in the summer because it's open, and I go in the back bar area in the open outdoor area, and not summer stage, but when the venue is actually open in the summer, you could go out in the back and like hang out. And I like that ability to get the hell away from a crowd. I don't want to be all bunched in. So when it was at the Pony, I didn't want to go and it's sold out, so I couldn't go. I was like, oh, well. Now, unbeknownst to anyone that's listening or whatnot, our wonderful, awesome, amazing friends have a band that we're opening for Almost Queen.
I would have. I don't know how we missed that, but I feel like we should have talked about that more leading up to it.
What, the show?
And our friends opening for that show, that whole event.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I know, or even had them maybe come on the show.
I talked to Heather. I mentioned it to Heather and Mike, and they were a little. I want to say reluctant, and it's funny because like one of the things Heather says, like, what do we have to talk about? I'm like, you guys are always talking about stuff,
right?
And you're always doing stuff,
scene, yeah.
And they've done the theater, so they know how to like enunciate. And
what do we have to talk about?
Exactly. So it would have been great, but in just recalling what the experience was like, it was at the Stone Pony, sold out. Then it moved to the Paramount, and we're like, all right, we'll get some tickets. Got some tickets with our friends, Epic Shouts, Steve Mitchell, Epic Shouts, Heather, Steve Mitchell's girlfriend, who I don't know her last name, so she's just known as Heather. We all sat together. Unfortunately, Lauren had an engagement that she had to go to, so she couldn't make it. And we got to see our friend's band, Fractal Sasquatch, perform at the Paramount Theater, which is like a huge deal. To me, personally, I think it's great. Steve Leonard, Don, Gina. I apologize if I'm missing anybody that's in the band, because that's all the names I could think of people that I actually know that are in the band. Heather, Mike. They put on a great show. They have awesome music. I always ask them, like, when are they releasing the music? When are they going to perform more? When are they going to make more music? And due to other professional constraints of people that are in the band, including Steve Leonard, who is the guitarist for Almost Queen, they just don't have the time to devote to the music and the wonderful spectacle that is Fractal Sasquatch.
Right.
So when you do get to see him, it's great. So they performed, then Almost Queen played. It's amazing to see that theater. And we sat in the loge, which is like the back balcony area, which is kind of bananas because the way the seats are set up, you have like this dancing room, like this big, huge floor space in front of you. And there's like no rail, like there's no like rail between you and the person behind you or in front of you. So it's kind of like a little, old school unsafe. It seems. Maybe I'm just a nerd, but I love it back there. It's really chill, and we had a great seat to view the whole show. What about you? What'd you end up doing?
Well, so we had So a few weeks ago we had
Anthony
D'Amato from Remember Jones on our show.
What a great show! That was our most listened to, most watched. And obviously, it's because he was our biggest get, as they say in the industry. So
You're
far.
welcome.
I mean, okay, I'll give it to you. I was in talks with him.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I bring them in. You can talk the
I
whole
wish
time.
I could not give you credit for this, but I
you
have to because you guys talk.
Yeah.
As friends.
Right.
So you guys.
And we go to the same gym.
Uh-huh.
We're usually working out at the same time.
So you
when
just
he's
like
in town.
So
and so
you
it keeps
guilted
the
him.
friendship going because I'm always like, oh, hey. No,
Basically stalking him.
Yeah.
Seeing him.
I hope you're going to come by the show sometime. And if I have to do this every day, I will.
Yeah, that's what Leo's good at. So, yeah, and it was that, anyway, you were saying, Remember Jones.
So, as he talked about, and he was here to plug his tour that kicks off March 1st in Rochester, New York at Flower City Station. If you have the opportunity to see him, obviously, do his thing. He's an incredible talent, and he's going to be, all over New York, Ithaca, Buffalo, Ohio, Pennsylvania. So, definitely go check him out. But he was doing a special show and I guilted him into putting me on the list.
I think
for the
he naturally
show.
put you on the list. And honestly, between you and me, I wish I could have I wish Fractal Sasquatch was opening up for Anthony because I wanted to see that. I haven't seen that yet, and I've
Right.
obviously seen Almost Queen already. But I wanted to go see my friends perform. You know.
Yeah, and I because I have not seen Remember Jones but once,
Mm-hmm.
and I have seen Fractal Sasquatch. I made that choice to do this show. So we were both in town at the same time, going to two different shows at the same time.
had to.
And I'll tell you, so as much of a big deal as I made about getting put on the list, I just paid ticket and went right in. I felt so weird asking about, am I on the list?
Because you waited till the last second.
Well, it just isn't me. Like I don't want to be obscene, right? I
Uh-huh.
don't want that. So I just kind of walked in and bought a ticket.
Oh, I love being the scene. I
Oh,
love going in
no.
and being like, check, I'm on the list.
No
Sir, your
way.
name isn't check again. It's
'Cause
Andrew.
then I'm embarrassed
A-N-D.
if I'm not. So and then but I didn't stay too long. I
Mhm.
just was there for about 30 minutes, and
Mhm.
then I needed to get back home.
Did you put pictures on the gram?
I have not put anything on the gram yet.
I haven't put my pictures up either. So
But we will be flooding the guts of the gram soon with all of our content.
indeed we will be.
Yeah.
And the show was amazing.
Great, really
Good.
great. You know, there were a lot of songs that I didn't recognize that I knew from that album. 808s and Heartbreaks from Kanye West,
Mhm.
and so very heavy in the first half of that album are a lot of hits that you would have heard on the radio,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe things that you didn't even realize that's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I was really enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I have a prediction, and I'm not just blowing smoke here. I've thought this for a while. You could just tell, or maybe I could just tell. I don't know. Maybe I should work for a record label because I could see what's hot.
Okay. Oh, all right.
The performance, and then Anthony, like he's just I think that they're just gonna get bigger and bigger. I really think that like we got them in because I think this summer is gonna be, I mean, they already have their tour in the spring, and from talking to Anthony, they're just getting busier and busier. So I don't know if they'll have time for little old us in the
I
future.
think well he has an agent now.
Mm-hmm.
He's booking stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just it's that time. You can feel it. So.
And he's motivated.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
excited.
he doesn't let the BS get in the way.
Right.
And people he kind of rolls with the punches. People have been in the band, out of the band, and he's like, look, this is professional, this is what we're doing. You're either with it or you're not with it. And he kind of rolls ever forward. So I appreciate that.
I'm so happy for him. Part of me is jealous that he's gonna be. I'm not jealous, but upset that he's gonna be on the road all the time because I think he's so much fun. Like
He
just
is.
to hang out with
Yeah.
him. Even when we finished the show, we still sat around talking.
I
and
talked
like,
before the show,
Yeah.
and then we talked after. And the show, which you said was too long, was like 30 minutes
God.
too long. But if people want to talk, I'm willing to talk. You know,
Alright.
I'll talk on a show. I'll talk in person. I'll talk to myself. So
all right.
so that was you could just tell he's got the personality
Yeah.
to go far.
Yeah, I just so I'm super excited, and I think I want to see now his show, because that's the second time I saw him. The first time I saw him, he was doing the Amy Winehouse show. This is the second time I saw him. Now he's doing the Kanye West show. I want to see his show. I
His
want to hear
show?
his music, his thing.
They do more of the cover stuff though, and then they just produce or make albums, right? That's not like they do Remember Jones, right?
I'm under the impression that he's doing his own original.
Oh, on the tour in the spring?
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Good. I mean,
and
the
I'm sure
songs
they're
are
gonna
cool.
mix in things
Yeah.
from Amy and from Kanye
Yeah.
and from everybody.
Oh man, that Alanis Morissette show was so
Oh.
good. It was so good.
That's the thing I need to do. I need to find somebody who's doing an Alanis Morissette
You missed
cover
it.
show.
You missed the best
well,
one.
and I missed it from New Year's Eve too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
You have to be. Now, I think there's a little more motivation for us to actually go out and do stuff.
What's that?
Well, the podcast, basically.
Oh, well, yes.
And also due to my newfound health regimen,
Which you just love to mention.
I
every
do.
Opportunity that
I
you
do.
have.
I do love to mention it. I'm proud that I've made a choice to change what I put in my body.
Yeah. I haven't made a choice to change it.
But it's given me more energy, so that at the end of the day, instead of just being tired and stuffing my face with delicious brownies and desserts, I kind of leave the house and still have enough energy to come back to the house.
Well, I mean, that's great for us because we're going to get a lot more content. And the season's about to change.
It
is.
is.
It's a blizzard outside right now, but winter will be over, and I'm excited to get out there and start seeing what's going on.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, man, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. There's gonna be people everywhere. I'm gonna have to Uber a lot more because I just don't want to deal with parking. But I'll focus on the positive and focus on the actual event. Have you seen any events like See Here Now festival or anything that you're interested in kind of or looking forward to?
I'm really considering See Here Now.
I'm considering it as well, but the thing is we got to get the tickets now for See Here Now because they're just going to get more expensive. That's how they get you.
I think you can go. So I love layaway. I just like the idea of layaway, and I think we can do
layaway
See
tickets?
Here Now on layaway.
We should get some like press passes. I wonder if we could get enough legit juice
for our very first, my very first show here, when I was doing a tour of beer, what was it? The beer it was beer fest, beer run.
Yeah.
There's some open bar thing. Anyway, I faked the press pass.
Oh, really?
For the show.
We could just have some laminates put in.
They
Laminates?
love it. They love when they know you're from the press. You get top billing, best seats.
Oh wow!
I've been using that a couple of times.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I gotta get the cards made so you have something to hand to people.
That would be
super helpful.
How many episodes is this?
This is 18, I think. 19, 18. I just wrote it down.
Well, hopefully by the time we get to Taylor Allen's level, where we're doing 100 episodes, and
when we're at the Taylor
House
Allen
of
level,
Independence, we'll have some cards.
Oh
or something.
man, I can't wait till we have all I think about. We have to hit some kind of significant number. I don't know what the number is, but when we hit the significant number, we have to have a party.
So all right, so 50.
Yeah, I think it's 50, which kind of sucks because that'll be that's like a year-ish away.
No, that's half a year away.
Into
the summertime.
Yeah.
We should throw
a big party.
Like a solstice.
A totally solstice party.
Solstice?
A totally
like my birthday.
Equinox party. Like my birthday.
Right, our birthday.
Our birthday.
Our birthday.
We'll tie it in somehow. We'll mishmash it together.
Make it all happen. Yeah, we'll have some bands come by. We'll have people who were on the show come by.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a great idea. Wow.
I'm just really good at this.
It is. See, that's what these snow days are all about, is really kind of brainstorming. I'm so glad we did this because, it almost didn't happen today. And I think it was important.
I think it's important.
Yeah, I would have been good to have you on last week, but we made it work. And I think it's time to, this gives us time to reconnect.
Right. We've had a lot of people on the show. We haven't had a lot of just us kind of catching up and talking about what it is that the show is really about in the first place, which is about the Jersey, the local, the shore.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, we were talking Root to Rise.
Yeah.
Have you gotten I've gotten really good feedback about that
Oh,
show.
really?
Yeah.
It was like, I was getting emotional because like Amy is like, I love Amy. She's amazing. And, she's helped me with, people that I know that were going through some stuff. And when you have somebody or you yourself are going through, some kind of substance use and wanting to kind of, or having to deal with that, you don't know who to talk to. There's no like buddy to talk to. And even when you reach out like on the state level, like, oh, this place is supposed to help, they can't really help you. We talked about it on the podcast. And, through a mutual friend, she was recommended to talk to, and just having that person that understands to talk to was amazing. And she's super passionate. I love people that are, whatever you're passionate about, I love it when people are passionate about stuff. And it just so happens that she's passionate about something that is a really great, great cause. And she actually, Root to Rise just joined with the Phoenix, which is, I think they're based out in Arizona. I could be wrong, but it's a larger, she talked about that on the podcast too. And we couldn't mention it. She told me before that show, but she couldn't mention it on air because it wasn't like done deal.
Final yet.
Yeah. But she's kind of becoming a part of that. So it's giving them a lot more, I think, resources and it's just giving them a bigger kind of outlet to kind of work with. So, all the hard work she's been doing, it's paying off, and that's helping other people, which is great.
She loves what she does.
Hell yeah.
She's totally inspired and motivated. And when I left here, we walked out together out of the studio.
Out of the studio.
We walked out
a
together.
Shared universe.
And she, we were just talking a bit, and she was like, I just came here, and then I had to hurry up, and I'm leaving here, and I got to go to this meeting, and then I'm heading out to South Jersey, and then I'm flying here in a couple of, and I'm like,
yeah.
I want to be like you, like having all these things to do, but having it all under control and just loving what she does and loving life. And yeah, it was great meeting her. I enjoyed that conversation.
It's a lot of stress, I would imagine, but she handles it very gracefully. And, it's just great. The coolest thing, and this is, I don't want to say this is like a selfish aspect to it, but like there was something when I ran into her one day and she was asking about how are things, and I start going into other people I know. Well, this person's doing that, and this person. She's like, no, how are you doing?
Right.
Like she cares about people, on an individual basis, and that's like it was just really, it was really great to see that. And like what she said at the end of that podcast was like. It was a very inspiring, wonderful thing.
Are you getting emotional again?
I am getting a little emotional. I was getting emotional while we were doing it. I was choking up. I'm like, don't do it, man.
I really wanted you to cry on the show. I
Never.
really did.
Never. I almost really did, because it was like a really tough point in it was a few years ago, and she was there, which was really, really wonderful and sweet. And then after we had Root to Rise, then Mike, and now we're here, right? That was like 3 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, that was a great. I don't know, it was a great podcast. I'm glad that you've kind of motivated me to organize and archive and put everything up on the website, totallylocalpodcast.com, because it's all going up there now. The SoundCloud, the video on YouTube, and all the links to the social media. It's all going up on there, so we can kind of archive it and make sure that we keep it. Because in the past I've done things and I haven't, and they've disappeared.
Right.
Well,
I mean, it's been fun. It's been moving really fast.
Yeah, it has.
I mean, can you believe that Anthony was 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, I know. It kind of really sets some kind of form of measurement to see what you're doing every week.
Yeah.
And having some kind of routine, it's really good to have this, because then we kind of reconnect, and then it motivates us to go out and do stuff.
So speaking of going out and doing stuff, we are approaching the weekend. Should be decent weather. What are you doing this weekend, the next few days, to explore totally locally the shore?
I want to go back to. I want to see a show at Whitechapel Project. I want to go see Neil, aka Foggy Notion, is DJing there, and I'd really like to see that. There's all different kinds of DJs, as I've talked about probably a billion other times on other podcasts. But like, there's you can't judge. There's no you can't really compartmentalize each one and say which one's the best or how to DJ is the best, because there's all different kinds. And Neil does all vinyl. And the way he does it is just it's like these deep cuts and music I like. He was playing what was it? It was a song Babe Ruth by this obscure UK band. That's the first time I met him, because he's put this song on, and I love this song. It's like a classic. And I went up to him and talked to him about it. And ever since then, I've been friendly with him. Turns out, because we're totally local, that we know the same people, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so he's doing Whitechapel on Friday. So I want to go see him DJ and hang out. That was the one thing that stood out for me that I wanted to do this weekend. What about you?
So for the past few weeks, I've been trying to. It has come out that Brando's in Asbury Park.
Oh yeah, I go there all the time.
Has one of the best happy hours on a Friday. I don't know about that.
Oh really?
Because for the last 3 weeks, I have gone to Brando's at 4 o'clock for happy hour, and every time I get there, it is already packed.
Oh, on a Friday?
Yeah.
At 4?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the first time I got there at 4:20, packed. So the second time I got there, 5 to 4, slammed.
Damn.
Then
they
it
open
was
at 4.
3, but they let you come in and wait.
Yeah.
So then the last time I was there, 3, maybe 40, already packed. So now I'm getting angry. Because I want to know why are you all here?
I
What
mean,
is the
it's
big
a
deal?
it's a good off the beaten path, local. It's totally local. A lot of people don't, really kind of. I think know. People know that you can go there and eat, but I don't think people know about the happy hour as far as like outside of this area.
Right.
The food is cheap costing, but really, really good.
Right.
But there's more to it than the happy hour. If you have to go there for than that, if you have to go there on a non-happy hour status, go there on. You can go to happy hour on a Thursday or
No, I think the Friday happy hour is the thing. Like, that's what people say. You got to do Brando's happy hour.
You could go do it. I think it's the same on. This fucking Nat is driving me crazy. I'm just watching it now. I've got like ADD.
I'm watching it too. I was hoping it was gonna fly in your mouth. That would be great.
That would have been great.
Um,
But you could go what I would suggest doing is going on a different day so that you could experience it.
Right.
But I think it's the same happy hour every single day that they do it. I usually go to Brando's every Wednesday with Pops at fucking 4 p.m. and it's the same one. But, if you go there to eat, the food there is so good. I kind of wish that they did, well, they do specials, but they don't really announce them as much, especially if you're sitting at the bar, which is usually where I'm sitting. So the steak, the filet mignon is so good there. Oh, just get it like medium rare and you're good to go. Anywho, yeah, I'd suggest checking it out on a different day. I think it's the same one. If you're going there for the crowd, it's going to be like an older crowd. I don't think it's going to be very hip, if you're into that sort of thing.
No, but I just wanted to go for the food and for whatever drinks they were having. Also, on Saturday the 23rd, which is this Saturday, right?
Yeah, it is.
Time, I just can't believe
Flying
it.
by.
There's a live and I know we talk about House of Independence. For as much as we talk about that place, they should be
Sponsorship.
sponsoring us.
Yeah.
But they're doing a live band Grease sing along. I'm going to be in the house singing some Grease tunes. I'm one of the very few people who know for a fact that Grease 2 is better than Grease 1. So hopefully they throw in some Grease 2 tunes in there.
What is it? Reproduction.
I've always really, really loved Michelle Pfeiffer very, very much.
That was her. I believe that might have been her first role. Was Grease 2. And I remember it just because it was on HBO all the time, so I watched that one more. And it's not that bad.
I mean, it's kind of the same movie.
It's basic. I mean, it's got a little different, whatever. They tried to flip it a little bit with the, I'm the cool kid, but you don't know who I am. I'm a nerd, but I'm not. But yeah, it's a pretty good. It's a good. So that's House of Independence.
It's Saturday at House of Independence. So I'm going to
do
what I normally do. I'm going to make my special at home drink,
Uh-huh.
which is
Vodka.
Prosecco and Sunny Delight.
What is it called? Sunny Disposition.
And I can't. Okay. Every time it's a different name that we come up with, but I like Sunny Disposition.
All right.
And so I want to go do that, and I want to sing along some songs. So I'll take some pictures of
Man,
that.
it's gonna be a bunch of theater nerds just straight up singing to themselves.
Probably, but every time I go to House of Independence, I stay 20, 30 minutes and I leave. So
You peace out.
let's see how long I can last this time.
Man, there was a line. I was telling Mike about this last time. I had to go pick up my from Super Duper Bowl. I left my card there a few weeks ago, and I had to go pick it up. And there was this huge, it's just a big line to get in, and I'm not about the line, so I just went to the front. I said I got to get my card. I popped right in. Turns out I have a Connect in there. Epic shouts to Sam. We should have her on here because she's, the crew that runs it now, that books the gigs, books the bands, whatever, does the sound. Jim Norton, Sam, and Lil Mike. I don't know who else is involved over there, but when they got involved, or they kind of tightened it up over there and kind of turned it around, from what I understand. So I'd like to have Sam on here to talk about that because they've been having a lot. They know who their audience is, and they book the right shows, and boom, that's their audience. As far as anything else going on, I don't know. I don't know what else is going on.
Is there a place that you want to explore more for the show, or something like maybe a city or town that you want to dive into a little bit more?
I mean, I think it's more about just kind of reintroducing myself to the area, because I feel like I haven't really done a lot in the last, ever since I used to use DJing as an excuse to get out, and after I retired and my computer exploded, I haven't really been doing that. I haven't been motivated to do it. I kind of just didn't have the passion that I used to have for it, and that used to be my thing. I'd go out, and that would be what I would do. Now that I'm not doing that, and I'm just going out as a regular civilian, I have to really kind of reacclimate myself to what is going on and who's doing it. Plus, I want to go see Mike Merrill DJ over in Belmar at Joe's Shack, Crab Shack. I don't. It's not Joe's Crab Shack. What is it called? Joe's Surf Shack. It's Joe's something or other.
He was promoting that on his Instagram.
Yeah. So, I want to go see him DJ, because I like to see him DJ early, because then he plays the deep cuts early, and before like the drunken soccer moms come up to him and ask him to play like Rihanna or
You
Lady
hate
Gaga
when
or
that
something.
happens.
It's like it's just goes against the whole fundamental culture of DJing has shifted so much from when DJs used to play. You would wait for them to play the songs that you'd be like, oh, they're an authority on it. They're going to play awesome music. I'm going to like what they play. Now people go and they think you're a jukebox and Spotify, and that they'll just go up to you and request a song. But nobody wants to hear your lame song. And if anybody wants to hear it, they're lame. You should just let the DJ play what they want to play. That's why it's awesome with Foggy Notion, because he has vinyl. If people go up and request shit, he could just be like, go jump off a cliff. This is what I have.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
I see.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that at Whitechapel Project. The tough thing is for me now that my dietary plans have changed is where can I go eat that doesn't have like bread or pasta or sugar or stuff like that?
Nowhere.
Yeah. And then what can I drink? I have to drink straight tequila.
Perfect.
Other than that, but I'm not, the biggest difference with all what I'm doing is that I'm not being hard on myself, so I can go out and enjoy myself and not feel bad or guilty about what I'm eating. I just have to be careful, because after having, going to Loteria and having nachos, a quesadilla, and then a lobster taco, and then churros might have been a little bit too much.
So how about just doing like a little? Like
that's
one snack.
Yeah,
one
that's what I'm saying. Maybe once or twice a week, but just don't eat the epic proportions that I used to eat. Speaking of which, I think I'll be going to Taka tomorrow evening to celebrate my anniversary, 5 years of knowing my wife. We met at Taka when it used to be at Loteria, and now that it's across the street or a block away, we're just gonna go over there, and that's like healthy adjacent food. It's not like it's either sushi or it's not too much grainy pasta bread stuff.
Well, one of the manager there, one of the head bartenders there by the name of Ryan, have some interest in coming by the show as well.
Oh, really?
I found myself at Taka about a week ago or so. And just really great people. I've actually known Ryan for as long as I've been here or been in this area. Really great guy. Also a lawyer.
Wow.
And wanted to kind of talk about all of that, like doing what is happening in Monmouth County.
Yeah, let's get that going.
Yeah, he's bartending at night. And doing family law during the day.
Wow.
So I was like, come on by, talk about
sounds great.
that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I've said I wanted to get a lawyer on here, talk about legalness. And then we have, who do we have coming over? Shiza. He's the guy that we met through the Super Duper Bowl, the comedian.
Oh, right.
Oh, man, what's his name? Oh, it's the wrong one. Anyway, whatever. We're going to have him on, I think, in the middle of March. And that should be a good show. And we're just kind of booking and scheduling now, and it's just more proactive. My whole approach to doing all this, like last year, was not as I was being silly about it, and now I want to be on top of it, and then I'll save the silliness for when we're talking.
Right.
But not too silly, because I don't want Leo to slap me.
I'll be the silly and you be the regular.
I don't know if we could work it like that.
One of us has to be
the good
cop, and one of us has to be the bad.
You're usually the I think you're usually the bad cop, because if we're sitting here interviewing somebody, you look at me sternly and let me know if I'm talking too much, or if you have something to say, you give me that side eye. You just kind of look at me.
It's time to stop talking
Yeah.
and let me talk.
Yeah, exactly. So we got some plans, we got some things, and things are gonna get crazy once the weather changes around you. This is what the Jersey Shore and being totally local. It's all about that weather change. Once St. Patrick hits, you know it's about to get crazy.
And that's coming up soon too.
Heck yeah! And then once what's it called? Memorial Day. That's
Right.
that's when that's right when all the locals get pushed out by all the crazy out of towners that come. And then you go through the summer, and then you have local summer, which is lovely, and then we're back to crappy weather.
I'm
So,
excited about St. Patrick's Day. We'll be talking about that next week.
mhm.
But the parade, the kazoo band, these are things that are
The kazoo band.
yeah.
I want to have. We should have some people from the kazoo band. Son of a bitch, in that. We should have the kazoo band. Somebody from there, and then the
Me.
Oh, well, let's have somebody else because
Oh.
you're already on here. I also did want to mention, if anyone out there is from Eatontown, there's some kind of meeting. I got a message from our friend Stephen Mitchell, who's really into disc golf. Who they're trying to put a park. They're trying to put a course, a disc golf course up in a park in Eatontown, and these people in the town are like fighting it because they think it's going to be some kind of a obstruction, or that you're going to destroy nature, when if you really got into disc golf or you really understood it, they don't destroy it at all. They're very respectful. There's no destruction of trees or anything. They kind of groom it, and it's basically just they put a pole and a basket up and a platform, and that's pretty much it. And I don't see why that would be a problem, but Eatontown is crazy. The people in Eatontown, they voted against turning the Monmouth Mall into a more updated shopping experience, a multi-use shopping area with habitable living above it, like condos, apartments above it. I've seen these kind of things in like Florida and stuff, and they're really cool. It would be more outdoorsy. You walk around to the shops, and then if you live there, you live above the restaurants and the shops. It's really nice. And they voted it down because people are just so, I don't know, just not open-minded to change. That's my Eatontown rant for today.
Wow.
So
You really do get passionate about the weirdest things.
what do you mean? It's like this will improve the structure of a mall as we see.
Nobody's going to a mall. When's the last time
that's
you've
what
been
I'm
to a mall?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They take the mall, they would like totally change it, make it an open air mall with living above it. It would bring in more people paying taxes into the town. It would be a better use of a mall, because anyone that knows the mall history, malls are going down. The malls of the 80s like were set up so poorly and just dumb setup that they're not very user friendly, and they're not very sustainable. And if you change all that, if you take these buildings and you put habitable living above them, and you make the parking more logical, and then you have all these shops underneath, you're going to do better. The economy is going to do better in your town. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I get these causes. Look at the face you have on right now. let's restructure malls, people, because there's a lot of dead and dying ones. Actually,
Nobody goes to a mall but kids, teenagers, to get Dippin' Dots and put on, what is that store that smells like way too much cologne? American Eagle.
well, exactly. If you have it set up differently, where people live there, and it's more of a lifestyle where you could go down.
So that's not a mall.
Yeah, it's not a mall. It's a whole different experience, and that's what they need to do. Otherwise, that whole blight of Monmouth Mall is going to just be a big, huge waste. If you go in there now, you could see so many of the stores are closed that it's stupid. The person that actually invented the mall as we know them even said himself that the malls are set up stupidly. I wish I knew the guy's name. I don't have it off the top of
Was
my
it
head.
Henry Mall?
It might have been. It might have been, Nathaniel Mall.
John Mall. Paul Mall.
I actually follow this Facebook page called Dead and Dying Retail, and it's a lot of talk about malls. Why do I do that? I have a history in commercial real estate, and I just find it fascinating because I'm a nerd of all kinds.
I will go to a mall for the movie theater,
Yeah, but that's it.
but that's it.
Yeah, so why not have that whole structure just open air? You go there, then you come outside. You know, it's all open. You could walk around. You know, I could put
Or
some
if
links.
it's a theme mall, like what if it was like Zombie Mall?
That would be perfect.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or like Short Hills Mall is like fancy. You go see rich people and sports players walking around there.
Fancy sport players.
I'm taking a page from your book.
They play sport ball.
Yeah.
All right. I think. What else you got? Are we good?
I'll be in Red Bank all weekend for events and parties.
What are you doing up in Red Bank?
I wanna explore. I wanna check out some bars, some restaurants.
Dublin House?
There's a food tour.
Oh.
So I wanna learn.
You want to learn all about
I
Red
want to
Bank?
learn all about Red Bank. We have friends in Red Bank who listen to the show who always have great things to say.
Oh man, I used to go to
So-
Red Bank as a kid all the time. You know, shout out to Ming and Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. Before it was a secret stash, I used to go in there all the time when I was a kid. Used to frequent. I used to go to Backward Glances in Red Bank. They've actually moved to Asbury Park. It's the same owner who's in there, which is amazing to me. There's so many. Yeah, there's a lot of cool places in Red Bank. It's just the parking is crazy. Parking really gets me down, man.
I see.
You know?
Well, that's why I go to places before 4:00. Like if you're there early, you don't have to worry about all of these people and parking. And then I like to be out. As soon as it starts getting a little bit busy, I want to be out of there.
We're just uncomfortable in crowds, I
I
guess.
get nervous.
Yeah, Dublin House. There's a great what's the name of the Mexican place there I love? There's a ton of other places that I haven't even seen or been to. So if I'm hoping that you go there and then report back, or
That's the
maybe
plan,
let me
yeah.
know if I'm free. I'll hit up Red Bank. We could take some selfies together.
We could. We're gonna take some selfies together right now for the Instagram.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that because we didn't do
We
that for a
haven't done
couple.
that for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, man, how professional are we? We need a selfie stick. Anyway, so that's totally local podcast. I think this week. Thanks, Leo, for joining us this week.
Thanks
it's been
for
a while.
dragging me out of my comfortable bed.
The
through the
snow day.
snow
Be
into the
careful out
studio.
there. It's not the snow you got to worry about. It's the crazy drivers. Totally local. I'd like to thank Ming and a Shared Universe podcast as always
Thanks, Ming.
for being for hosting and supporting us. Thank you, my co-host Leo, for being here. And till next time, I'll see you guys out there. Don't be a stranger.
Okay.
You gotta wait for the synth to come in.
No. You're just gonna dance us out.
Just for a little bit.